It is time for Sublime here on the channel, and you guys have been asking for Santeria for a while now, so let's get to it. Oh. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. Sublime is a band I've definitely heard in passing over the years many times, but I don't know anything about them. Couldn't tell you a single song I heard, but I know their sound and those warm, rich bass tones that are very groovy. So I might have heard this, I might not have, but we're going to give it a critical listen today. But Santeria is from the band's third and self-titled studio album, released in 1996, and I honestly had no idea that they were such a short-lived band and that singer Bradley Nowell didn't even get to make it to the album's release, unfortunately passing way too young, just 2 months prior, and this led to the band's dissolution. But I'm reading here that they've had a few attempts to rekindle the band and are actually slated to play some music festivals this year in 2024. So pretty cool timing here, but let's get straight to it. Santeria by Sublime. Just warm.
I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. I had $1 million, but I'd spend it all if I could find that Hannah in that Sancho that she's bound. Well, I'd pop a cap in Sancho and I'd slap her down. But I really want to know, baby.
God, I love the production. Okay, that vocal cadence sounds a little vaguely familiar. If I have heard it, it's not a song I remotely paid attention to bass-wise. Might have heard it in public or at an event, who knows. But I can already tell that just in these first 45 seconds, bassist Eric Wilson plays very ad-libbed, an ad-libbed type of style, very just kind of in the moment, responding to what's happening in the music and really taking advantage of that airy, warm, open space at this kind of slower tempo. It's kind of just rolling along. And he's just subdividing in such a way where there's any little pocket of time to inject an accent and kind of just dancing around everything going on. Of course, we have that signature upbeat reggae-style guitar, and I just love the production on that warm bass tone. So my favorite thing about dissecting a bass line like this, when I can tell it's kind of improvised, there's very little repetition, it's just kind of through composed, meaning there's not really any formula. Of course, he's sticking to the chords, but it's like you're getting a snapshot of what the player was thinking in that moment and the way they were responding to the song. So let's keep going. Some good stuff here. Sounds like we're in kind of E major, A major, and C. Six. Those little hammer-ons there, just a little on the backside of the beat, just ultimate pocket. And you can really take advantage of achieving that feel. This is kind of a slower tempo. Dun, 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 dun. It's all those little inner notes and accents and just e's and uhs. It's kind of a swung tempo, but you can really take advantage and make those little nuances pop, like kind of when he's going from the root to the fifth below. Those pop. You know what? A faster tempo, they would get kind of choked out. So if you have a slower song like this, you can take advantage so much of that space created in the rhythmic subdivisions. And I feel like he's playing in such a way where it's almost like there's a metronome in his head going, and he's just plugging notes in and he's locked in, just being that rhythmic grid, not guessing. Everything's very intentional. But at the same time, I don't believe he's thinking in that manner. He's just feeling it and just kind of letting it flow because such little repetition. Kind of every bass line's a little different. Just the way this hi-hats are going. They're just locked in on the dime here. Yeah. The way he's gluing those chords together is just the art of simplicity in just the most beautiful way possible. This is kind of a poppy chord progression. So I'm going to say we're in E major. 4 is the A chord. So four. And just the bounce and the space he's putting there makes it not feel just so poppy chord progression, right? But the biggest thing he's doing here is that he's doing what I talked about in the Clash video, actually. So it's kind of a similar thing where you ride on one chord and you can build this anticipation to where your ear just is waiting for the next chord. So if he just kind of hung on those root notes, sure, good groovy bass line, lots of feel and space, but the way he's kind of dancing around the root notes and using those common tones that each chord contains in that key builds this sense of drive and anticipation. And the way he can sit on a one note and just go. See, that builds a lot of tension. Like we're on the E, but you just want it to move because it's just kind of like in a spinning holding pattern. And man, just a brilliant way to add so much feel to a rather square and simple chord progression. Love it. Love those little hammer-ons he does. Slightly on the backside of the beat. Love how they're making that 3-chord major too. 3-chord, so go up the scale degree. Diatonically, that's minor, because if you just make a diatonic chord off the 3rd, they're making that 3-chord actually major, which gives it just a brighter, kind of springier sound. Just a way to kind of keep it from getting so dark when you kind of hang on that minor 3-chord too long. You make it major, and it just gives it a more vibrant sound. Check that out here. Yep. Subtle stuff like that. Every bass line's different. Every repeat. This must be a nightmare to transcribe. If someone's done it out there, I'm sure it's arguably their most popular song. But again, I love dissecting bass lines like this. I feel like I'm just, again, getting a snapshot of the way they're responding in real time to the way the song builds. It's not like they just played a bass line, looped it over and over again, or like you would in the modern age, just copy and paste it over and over again. No, he's actually playing it linearly and just building with it. And as a song intensifies, so should the bass line. It can really come underneath everything and bring it up. It can drive it more rhythmically. You can strike the strings harder and do a more tonal kind of intensity. And I think he's responding rhythmically. And just the irregularity of all the parts gives it, like, you really know where you are in the song. You know, if I just skipped anywhere in the song and I heard the bass line a little more broken down, it'd be like, well, this probably feels like the beginning, because I'm judging off the kind of the activity of the bass part. And it's a cool way to play. You know, I haven't done a bass line like this on the channel in a while. We've covered a lot of different stuff, but a warm, kind of funky, rich kind of thing, it's been a while. Let me know what else I should do. These are really fun to get into and just own in on. Mixing long and short notes. Good contrast. I like that. That move right there. Waiting to get off of it. now and then he just takes a lot of advantage of those inner beats. 1E into 2E into 3E into 4E into 1. So eighth notes would just be 1 and 2 and. So he's dividing them further, 1E into 2E into, but then he's kind of just putting some of those accents on the E's and U's. So it's outside of the normal 1 and 2 and. It's and that just gives you it almost makes you lose rhythmic ground for a split second, some of those bass fills. And then he brings you back in and you fall right back on the downbeat because he's so freaking locked in. Up higher there. Swinging it so hard. Whoa. Okay. What a chord to end on. Dominant. It almost reminds me of Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Pat Benatar, the way that ends on that dominant. Just leaves you a little unresolved because the song has been so square in the way it resolves. Funny little thing to throw in here. Ooh. Oh, yeah. We've done a lot of rock. We've done a lot of metal. We've done a lot of punk rock. We've done some ska. And I know Sublime have their own imprint somewhere in that scene. I'm reading that they released this album right in the middle of the third wave of ska. So you might call this rock, reggae, whatever the genre is. But I haven't done a song like this in a while that was just warm and fuzzy grooves, really funky. A different way of dissecting a bass player. You know, we've been talking a lot about energy and just note choices and melody. I wouldn't call this a melodic playing style, though it is very melodic, and certainly the way it wraps around the chords. But it's just such great use of rhythm. Just, you could do 5 different bass lines for this song, and they might all be right, but one is the best one. And whatever he played just makes your body move. You hear those bass lines, you hear the way they're kind of entangling with the space of the song, and you're listening, and you just kind of have to sway. It just commands you. Love the bass tone. I read a bit that he used some flats. I didn't read too far into what bass he might have used on this record, but I'm really just surprised the band only had 3 albums before the singer tragically passed. So Sublime is a band I need to explore, and I'm very intrigued that they just happen to be reconvening this year and playing some festivals. So thank you guys for requesting Sublime. I know there's quite a few songs you guys have asked for. STP, Eben, The Way I Feel, 40 Ounces to Freedom. It was a tough choice, but Santeria is the one I saw the most. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. Please come find us on Patreon if you'd like to support the channel further. Lots of lessons, licks, full album reactions, backing tracks, Helix patches, and much more coming soon. Please like and subscribe. It really, really helps the channel out. Once again, thanks for hanging with me. I love you all. Cheers. We will see you next time.